it's really going to be just two heavyweights, man, going at it. I don't know how you approach this game. I don't know if Latko is going to have an all-out blistering attack and just hope their D-mid and their defense can slow down Banda and Marta, or if they're just going to play very tactical and try and take advantage of what Orlando gives them.
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank. If you're thinking about starting a business or know someone who is, check out Emprise Bank's SBA loans. It's always good to know your options, and they can be your partner in possible.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Currently. It's a Victory Pod on KC Sports Network, part of No Other Pod. Oh my gosh, I'm so thrilled to be here with my friend Chris Wright. I'm Daniel Kooser. Chris, winner, chicken dinner, baby. We're moving on. What's going on?
I mean, playoff victory pod is the best victory pod, right? Woo. So it was quite the game, man.
Elephant in the room. Listen to this man's voice right now. Everyone listen and let it lull you into a false sense of security. It sounds so beautiful. When you need to monetize this, we need to get you on a radio ad or something. Plug you into a KCSN ad spot. Something. Let's get the man paid.
I guess whenever I get sick, I want the contracts and the ads that come rolling in. It's the only time I can.
That works, man. What? How'd that happen? You think? How do you think you got sick? That's me. Whenever I'm sick, I'm like, who did this to me?
I don't know. I don't really do much. So outside of the gym, that's probably where I'm around people the most.
Yes, gym can be a very germy place. Obviously,
yeah. I think dumbbells are one of the most germy things, I believe.
Makes sense. How many people wipe down their dumbbells after they use them?
Nobody.
I do, but I will admit I do forget sometimes. And you know who doesn't forget when we're on vacation doing a hotel workout or something? My wife. She's like, "You're gonna wipe down your dumbbells?" I'm like, "Damn, I forget."
I'll wipe down a barbell, right? If you're benching or something like that, I'll wipe that down. But the dumbbells themselves, like if I do curls or anything, then I don't wipe them down. But hard lesson learned. Maybe I should.
Listen, we got dumbbells in our basement, pretty good set, like 5s to 50s. And I'll every time I'm vacuuming down there, I do break out a little Clorox wipe and kind of give the dumbbells a once over. So I know it's our germs, it's not the end of the world, but it's still germs, still gross.
Not a bad idea.
So we'll pray for you, man. We hope you get to feeling better. You probably just yelled too loud at KC Current game, man. That's what it was.
That could have been it. We arrived a couple minutes later than normal because the entrance was backed up. Like we got there prior to game, but which we never cut it that close. So I don't know if that's normal or not. But when we got there, the line was pretty deep to get in. So we literally walked up the bleachers and where you get ready to sit, and then we saw the whole flow of the goal. So we didn't miss anything, thankfully. But
that little 5-step sequence is something to break down. For sure today. I wonder why it was backed up at the entrance. That's interesting. Maybe some traffic got people there late. We got there pretty early. We had to pick up our friends that live in Kansas City, so we went to their house, picked them up, took them to the game, and they had a great time, man. They're like 3 for 3 on games. They're like, KC Current's never lost a game when we've gone, and I'm like, yo, okay, let's get to that championship and get you at the championship.
Yeah, I mean, tickets are available. Just bring them on.
Yeah, man. They have free messenger coffee outside the gates. I'm sure you were too busy worrying trying to get in, but I know you love a free coffee opportunity. And
I love anything free. Anything
you missed
free.
It.
Next time.
And it was good. I didn't know. I don't know if I've had messenger coffee, if I'm being honest, but I enjoyed it.
I wonder if we've had it during sporting. Is that their sponsored brand?
That was Roastery. I remember we had Roastery at Sporting.
Okay.
Either way, local coffee shops I'm all about, man. We got free flags coming into the game.
Yeah.
That was fun. I yelled at that flag girl down on the field as I was waving my own flag, and I was like, I'm coming for your job. They get their hips in it.
Oh, yeah.
That thing around. That's how you get glutes, baby, is wave one of those flags around, build those glutes.
That's core strength right there.
100%. I was like, oh, I got it. I got this little flag here.
Auditioning, and they didn't even know it.
They also didn't know they gave me something to fidget with because I was constantly twirling it around the stick and I was untwirling it. And I was just, my hands were just busy. And I was like, what am I doing?
That's and if music was playing, you're nervous, like that's a good thing in a way, right?
But if music was playing, I was like conducting that shit. I just waving my flag that whole game like a child. Best giveaway in a long time, apparently.
That's awesome.
Went into the merchandise shop a little bit too, man. See what they had in there. That's such a cool place. You ever pop in there?
Oh, all the time. Like typically during a halftime, if it's something unusual or unique, I'll go check it out. I go there, quite a bit.
They got some the brand of headbands I wear. They have a KC Current headband now from that brand. And I'm like, oh boy, gonna have to make myself a little purchase.
Did you get it?
No, I didn't, because I really like my pink one, right? But it's the Royals KC on there, so it's technically a Royals headband. But I'm just, I just wear it. City pride. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, you and headbands you mesh really well. So I'm surprised you didn't snag that at the moment. But
I know, trying to cut back on expenses and stuff. I do. I'm in the entrepreneur life right now, taking on some personal training clients, doing the podcast thing. Money's coming from different ways and different flows. So can't just be dropping money on anything. You know how it goes.
They're not cheap either. Merchandise is not cheap.
We need to have you and I need to have like a money saving conversation, because you've known me for a while. You see I like to spend. You see I like to buy. And you don't always do that. And so I need to learn your ways. I need you to teach me how to be better.
I mean, you're speaking my language, sir. We'll take this offline, and I'm all about it.
My thing is when Christmas hits and those holiday gift guides come out from different websites, and I'm just like looking at that, and I'm like, I could put that on the Christmas list, or I could buy it now.
Are you a Black Friday?
I love Black Friday, dude. The deals are always the best. I don't trust anyone buying me gifts to go on Black Friday to get those gifts, so I get them myself. Lego sets, video games. I love that shit.
Yeah, I wait for the purchase that we really need, and then I wait to get that on Black Friday. Like our vacuum is on the fritz, so I mean it still works functionally well, but sure, get a new one.
You're lucky if you get 5 years out of that shit.
Don't make them like they used to.
Is that how long it's lasted you?
Longer than that.
Nice.
Longer than that, yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Your vacuum sucks more than usual. Okay, moving on. Let's throw the rotten eggs at me. Buddy, before we get started, let's get our break out of the way, because we have got a lot to get into. There were 4 playoff games, one we super care about, and we're going to break it all down. So stay right there. We'll be right back.
Looking for tickets for your next event? Tickets for Less is your #1 source. Save big on every purchase when you use promo code KCSN at ticketsforless.com.
So, coming into this game, by the way, I told Jimmy on No Other Pod, they tried to take my coffee away from me when I was coming in. They tried to take it, and the guy was joking with me. He was just joking. I was like sad. I was like, bro, I just got this. I haven't taken a single sip because it's too hot. And he was like, I'm just kidding. I was like, don't do that. It is too early to joke. I have not had
a heart attack.
Unbelievable. It's crazy, man. Breaking news, though, by the way. I just got an email, literally just now, 9 minutes ago. National Women's Soccer League announces 2024 NWSL Award finalists. Opens the fan voting round. Do you get these emails?
I probably do.
Okay. Cool. So I click on the ballot link and it says they're experiencing technical issues. So we're gonna nix this entirely. But of course, they're announcing finalists for MVP, Defender of the Year, Goalkeeper of the Year, Rookie of the Year, and Coach of the Year. And there's a new category this season honoring the Midfielder of the Year, which is pretty dope. Yeah.
Yeah. Long overdue.
It's interesting because you don't have like Forward of the Year, Striker of the Year, but you have Defender and Midfielder. So are you just assuming that the strikers will be like the MVP or something?
That or the Golden Boot maybe. It's kind of, they might roll that up into the Golden Boot potentially.
That makes sense. Anyways, if you guys are listening to this, I think the fan ballot will be out. All votes must be submitted by this Friday. at 2 p.m. Central Time. There was a preliminary. Oh, found the finalists, bro. You ready for this?
Yep.
Up for MVP, Barbara Banda from Orlando, Timwa Chawinga, Marta from Orlando, Trinity Rodman, and Sophia Smith. Okay. My vote there is Timwa Chawinga.
I don't know.
For obvious reasons.
Even if I'm objective, I don't know how you go anywhere but Chawinga, to be honest with you.
100%. Defender of the Year, Naomi Girma, Kaylee Kurtz, Tara McKeown, Emily Sams, Kylie Strom. Okay. My vote, I'm feeling Girma for some reason. I don't know why.
I think Girma or Sams are probably my opinion too.
Goalkeeper of the Year, Anne-Katrin Berger, Mandy Hott, and Anna Morehouse. Just 3 there. Our year was split up from goalkeepers, dude. France kind of took the first half. Schultz took the second half, it feels. So
I wonder if Schultz had the full year, if she would have made that list. That's a good list though. Like, I mean, Berger's been fantastic. Morehouse has been great for Orlando.
For sure. But having Utah's keeper up there is pretty cool too. Mandy Hott. So midfielder, Croy Bethune, Vanessa DiBernardo, Lo Labonta, Marta, and Ashley Sanchez. 2 KC midfielders on the list. I don't know which one to vote for out of those.
We get to vote twice, right? Like, we don't have one vote, correct? Like,
I guess.
If anybody can create a bot out there. And
the voting's rigged, bro. Just one big ass blast of elections, man. I hate this. I got to tell you, I think my vote goes to DiBernardo. It just feels... But then Lowe's doing great things too. Like, it's really hard.
I don't know.
I vote for Vanessa. You vote for Lowe. Let's split the vote.
Yeah. I mean, although that doesn't do any of them, favors. Because, like,
True.
if we all split our votes, then somebody else will win.
That's true. I'm not thinking logically here. I'm thinking with my heart.
I don't know. Like, it's so Lowe's had a phenomenal year and deserves all the credit in the world, and so does DiBernardo. So having 2 current players on there is fantastic. It's an honor, but it makes it really difficult for us as fans to...
You need to get on the same page here and start some campaign today. I mean, I if you were to say right now, out of those 2, who you
God. Man, I feel like DiBernardo... You really put me on this spot. I feel like DiBernardo... I'd have to look at the numbers. I have to take a look at the stats.
I don't want to look at the stats because I feel personally that DiBernardo makes the team better when she's on the field. Lowe, I wouldn't know how the team is when she's not on the field because she's always on the field.
Right.
So it's tough, right?
You take a look at a lot of the, just little cheeky passes that springs Chawinga free. A lot of those are Low. Like, she has such good give and go with the team, and DiBernardo's everywhere. She'll play back, she'll play up. She's like, at the end of the day, it's a embarrassment of riches, right? Like,
I know it's not really fair. I don't want to split the vote and just like give this to Marta or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of our players deserve it, and I think we all need to get on the same page here.
I agree. I agree.
So, Rookie of the Year, Croy Bethune is on there again. Claire Hutton, Ali Sentnor? Did I say that? Claire Hutton, dude. I was really hoping she'd be on this list. Wonderful season she's had, wonderful year. Very excited to see her grow into a great player.
Coming into the season, there is a lot of anxiety and confusion over the defensive midfielder position, right? Like, Desi at the time, she wasn't she wasn't re-signed, rather. We didn't know what was going to happen. Hutton was a huge unknown, right? Like, 17. It's hard to count on a 17-year-old. We just didn't know what we had. But she effectively shut out Sanchez. Like, she shut Sanchez out this past game, and she's done such a great job. And defensive midfielders don't get the credit they deserve, in my opinion. But Croy Bethune, like, I think she leads the league in assists as a rookie, and I think it's by a decent margin.
Yeah.
Like, my current bias is certainly going to go for Hutton. That's who I'm going to go for. But objectively, if Bethune wins, it's certainly fair.
That's good. We we get wild with it. We're obviously hometown people, but if you're being honest, it's not, you're not exactly sure if Claire will win that one.
But doesn't mean we can't vote the shit out of it, though.
Oh, sure. And Coach of the Year, Juan Carlos Amoros, Vlatko Andonovski, and Seb Hines. For if you're keeping track here, that's Gotham's coach, KC's coach, and Orlando's coach. Vlatko's done wonderful things with this group who was rock bottom last year. I mean, but the turnaround is also the same over in Gotham. Well, not true. Gotham squeezed into the playoffs last year.
They won the championship last year, yeah.
They did, but we know they squeezed into the playoffs because they beat us. You know what I mean? Without that win at the end of the season, they don't get in the playoffs. They don't win the final. So it's a crazy thing to think. They were on the bottom half of the table last year, and now they flipped. All the teams, I heard this on the broadcast the other day, all the teams in NWSL last year have flipped upside down. Orlando just won their first ever playoff game. Doesn't that seem weird to watch such a dominant team this year, to know that was their first ever playoff win?
Well, the fact that a long time ago they had Alex Morgan, prime Alex Morgan. They had Marta. They had a lot of good players. And last year in 2023, Orlando finished 7th in the table. Actually tied with Gotham on points, actually. But had a goal difference of -1, which was the only reason Gotham got in with a positive 1 goal differential into the playoffs. So it was that close. But, I mean, man, to me, it certainly goes down to Vlatko and Seb Hines in Orlando. I mean, I can't give the Gotham manager my vote if he won the championship last year, got better players this year, and is right back in it. What Vlatko's done is absolutely phenomenal. There's no way you can not give him his credit, right? What he's done is just stunning. We also have an incredible roster. What Seb Hines in Orlando has done, longest winning streak, the amount of points they've done, that's also equally, as if not more, as impressive. So my heart, and I'm certainly going to go vote for Vlatko, and I think it could go either way between Vlatko and Seb Hines. I don't think it could go wrong if I'm being objectively honest.
Right. I think there's a weight to this, by the way. I think players and coaches get a higher weighted vote than fans do.
Makes sense.
But I don't know. At the end of the day, it's all just kind of who has the best voting fan base.
Yeah.
So I hope, show out, everyone. Vote for that. I'm sure you'll see the links circling your socials and everything. Dude, it was a weekend of serious playoff matchups. It started Friday night, and it was fun, man. I was streaming this game, Orlando versus Chicago. You're thinking, man, Chicago, go get nuts. All right, go pull something off that we don't believe in you, but come on, give it a shot. They did not. It was good for a minute. Chicago was hanging on for almost half an hour at 0-0, and then the floodgates just kind of opened up a little bit. I had this on my phone, had the massive KU game on my TV, looking back and forth. It was a great night of sports for me. 4-1 Orlando, bro. 4-1. Banda, I believe, had a brace.
Yep.
Martha had one, a penalty, right after Banda was brought down in the box. Who else? Who got the other one? Haley McCutcheon got the other goal. So wasn't enough for Jamise Joseph on Chicago to get one back in the 60th minute, but Orlando will host the semifinal matchup against us, man.
Yeah, it's what we didn't want to have happen is what's happening, but there's some poetic justice there if we can go down and ruin their day, go to their house and knock them out of the playoffs. The team with the most points, with the longest streak. Obviously there's no love lost with how they celebrated in Kansas City. So, Michelle Cooper and company are, Dabinia and they're going to want to go and rain on Orlando's parade. I was out and about shopping, and I refreshed my phone. I saw it was 3-0. I was like, oh no. And that's when I knew, obviously there's no chance we're going to have a second home game. But, Orlando, they struggled a little bit towards the tail end of the season. They had a couple losses. They lost to Portland 2-0. They lost to Gotham 3-1. And then they beat Seattle Reign. But they were kind of on the downhill slide a little bit towards the tail end of the season. And they just came back and dropped this bomb on us. So hopefully they can be a little full of themselves and we can come in and, I don't know, take advantage of that overconfidence.
I mean, okay, so they dropped 4 on Chicago. I mean, we dropped
3 and then basically parked the bus.
Yeah, we did 3 5 days earlier,
Yeah.
So oh man, this is it. Like, I mean, we're going to get into it, but like, I do want to talk about these other games first, but this is like our championship this weekend,
What this really feels like is the 2008 NCAA championship when you had KU, North Carolina, Memphis, and UCLA. It's like 1 through 4, right? The best 4 teams by far have moved on, and there's a huge gap between 4 and 5. And the top 4 teams, the best 4 teams are playing each other. So if I'm a neutral fan, this has got to be fantastic.
This is how it's supposed to be. I mean, yes, was I rooting for the underdogs? You love a good upset. And the other games almost had it. So let's skip over ours real quick. We'll come back. Sunday started out with Washington versus Bay. And you're like, Bay FC, look at you. Look at you get in the playoffs. Like, good for you. First year being a squad. You worked hard to get there, kind of had a slow start, but picked it up and got to where you needed to be. To not squeeze in at the 8th seed, but to really secure a seed and not have to play the top team like Chicago did. They held on, man. They held on for a bit. I mean, this went to extra time. I was all in on Bay right now. I was like, get this done. Trinity Rodman was yelling at people. Like, it got a little dramatic at times, man.
Well, they were ahead for like 4 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah. This will be, so they're going to the semis. This will be their 5th NWSL semifinal. They've always been pretty decent. You know what I mean? But they found themselves trailing late. And then Bay FC breaks. Wait, sorry. How'd this pan out again? Remind me. I'm trying to recap real fast.
Yeah, no. Oshawala scored in the 82nd for Bay and actually had a lead in the 82nd.
It was 1-0 Bay. Like, it was 0-0 forever.
Yeah, it was back and forth.
But then 4 minutes later, Tara McCown has had a great season. I mean, we just mentioned her name in one of the end of year finalist awards. Just an equalizer, man. Sent the crowd nuts. With stoppage time, nothing happened there. Extra time happened. 96th minute, Trinity Rodman's cross deflected off Caprice Didasco for an own goal. What a way to lose a playoff game.
Didasco's a veteran. Yeah, she's a veteran outside back. Yeah, she's very. That's gonna haunt her because she doesn't make those mistakes. She's very.
It's not how you want to lose.
No, she'll look like she just tried to head it away and just didn't get the right angle on it, man. That's gonna haunt them. But also, they had a great season for an expansion team. They got a lot to be proud of.
All they can do is build off it, but to be so close, it feels, oh my God, we could be going to the semis, man. Then after that game was Gotham and Portland. Also, another tight game, man. It went to extra time. This is Gotham's first ever home playoff win. So that's interesting. Also, it's Casey Curran's first ever home playoff win, first ever home playoff game, so a lot of things getting
a lot of firsts
broken there. A lot of firsts. 67th minute though, man, Gotham breaks through. Tierna Davidson, first goal for the club. Gets her first goal with a great free kick from Rose Lavelle. I mean, if you want anyone giving you service, dude, I either want Rose Lavelle or Vanessa DiBernardo. Like, it just makes sense, dude. DiBernardo puts it on a dime every time, and the only time she misses is if the player's too short. So, did you watch these games?
I caught part of them, and then I finished them out with the highlights, yeah.
Well, Portland equalized just 7 minutes later, and you're like, okay, we got a game here. 1-1, dude. Raylan Ryland Turner? Ryland?
I pronounce it Ryland. I don't know if that's entirely correct.
Header, set piece, gorgeous. It was awesome. Extra time comes, 97th minute. Delaney Sheehan's cross hits Rose Lavelle, who just cannons it into, just buries the goal. Easy peasy. Lavelle's second playoff goal and the latest regulation playoff goal in NWSL history.
Is that what was Del Fava's for Kansas City against Houston?
I don't know.
We were at Bar K watching that, if I remember correctly. Yes. Yeah, that thing was like 99. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, it's always a heartbreaker, man, to lose that late. I mean, if I'm a Portland fan, man, that's hard to come back from.
100%. Something of note, by the way. So the semifinal games are going to kick off one on Saturday, one on Sunday. I started thinking we'll probably play on Saturday. Like, I mean, wouldn't you want? I don't know how this shapes out. I would think the top seeded team, Orlando, they would favor for having the most rest. Like, not only are they going to, you would think if they played Saturday, 8 days rest. Cool. No, they're going to play Sunday, 9 days rest. So that's 8 days rest for us. But now, assuming Orlando was to go to the championship, we hope not, knock on wood. Now they only have 6 days rest, whereas Washington or Gotham have 7 days rest. I don't know how they make things up. I'm sure network has a lot to do with it. We're just flying by the seat of our pants when it comes to women's soccer sometimes, man. They just throw it on whenever they can.
Yeah, it feels like they don't take priority or precedence over the network, Yeah. It's going to be tough to compete with the NFL on a Sunday.
It will be.
Or college football on a Saturday,
They were kind to us, and they did not have a Chiefs conflict because we play Orlando Sunday at 2 o'clock. So it bleeds into that Chiefs game for a minute, but like we're getting a 30-minute pre-show as well, man. The coverage for it starts 1:30
on
ABC and ESPN Plus.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
That's big time.
Saturday's game is at another 11 a.m. and there is no pre-show I'm seeing, but it is CBS and Paramount Plus.
Which you think there would be? I mean, granted, Kansas City and Orlando is a hell of a matchup, by the way. But you take a look at like the storyline between Gotham and the Spirit with Rodman and all the national team players. Like, I'm surprised there's not one there as well. But
here's my dream scenario for the final: us versus Gotham, because there's that little asterisk from winning the Summer Cup against them when they were missing so many players. And they'll always have that. They'll be like, yeah, we lost, but come on. We were missing like half a dozen players. So now they would be full strength. And I want to get there, man. I want to see them upset Washington. And we have to face them and win it for real.
I mean, it's really weird. Like, I feel like teams 1 through 4, even though they're ranked 1 through 4, there's really no true favorite.
You're right.
Yeah. Gotham, by the way, I mean, they looked good and they're probably favored to beat Kansas City. A lot of people are predicting Kansas City to win it at this point too, knocking on wood here. But, Gotham, you can't count them out, right? They've been good all year. Same with Washington. It really does, and I'm going back to it, the 2018 National Championship NCAA, tournament, right? Like the top 4 teams, anything can happen. And, God, it just, you can't look past anybody, especially Orlando, but that would be very poetic to beat Orlando in Orlando and have Gotham come here and have that rematch for everything.
We're going to be good to go. I mean, we're going to put everything into it, but I think we're going to be cautious with them too, man. Like, didn't we go down there and it was 0-0 draw last time we played them at their place? Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to do that again because I'd like to not go extra time and then penalties and then have short rest for the championship, but a 1-0 victory at Orlando would be so sweet. And we are no strangers to squeezing out a 1-0 victory.
I mean, I want to do one better, a 2-0, because I don't want to have my heart explode the last 15 minutes.
Well, that's what happened this weekend. I mean, Saturday, my heart was exploding for many minutes. this game, man, we get a 1-0 win over North Carolina. And
what do you think? Let's take a look at the lineup. Is there anything in the lineup that surprises you, by the way, or is that our first choice best lineup? And the only reason I mention that is because I think that there's a little bit of a, does Izzy start, Mace and Wheeler, who kind of starts back there? But it seems like Vodka really views Wheeler very highly, by the way. But along with Mace, that's his first choice outside back. Is that kind of your interpretation of it?
Wheeler's my dog now. She's my dog.
Oh, my dude.
She's a pusher, and I love a pusher.
You do.
You don't talk shit to my teammate, like you're going to get pushed. I mean, that was crazy at the end of the game. This gal gets over Chawinga and is just like...
She does like the what? Yeah.
And Ellie comes up and just goes, fuck you.
Well, I saw it and I was like, no. Like, because I don't want her to get a red. And there's always that thought, right? Like, you never know.
Yeah.
Like, but
they both got yellows, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't taunt. You can't do that unless you're pushing Brad Guzan into a net in MLS. Then that's no cards. No one gets cards there. Bullshit.
I just love the dog of Ellie Wheeler, man. Like her first game, like she came in with a monstrous like header and almost like headbutted the shit out of a girl. Like, I mean, she's one of those players who, I mean, during one of her intro videos, it's like getting to know the player. She mentioned that she likes kickboxing, and you could tell. Like, you could tell her. Yeah.
We said, what would you be doing if not playing soccer? And she was like, probably a strength coach or personal trainer or something like that.
Yeah.
And all I've wanted since seeing her aggressiveness on the field is for her to train me. Like, that intensity, I would pay for that. Like, I would be a better athlete training with her.
I bet if she, focused her development in like Muay Thai or kickboxing, she'd be one hell of a fighter there. But I digress. She's an absolute dog, man. She's the type of player that you want on your team that, you don't want to call her a goon in hockey that'll like go and enforce like, some physical play, but she will not shy away from anything. She will not shy away from anything. No. She's gotten better about that. She's becoming more like within the realm of the play. But man, how can you not love her?
If someone like Roger Espinoza lost the ball, he was going to go foul that guy that took the ball from him.
Yeah.
I don't think Ellie would do that.
You're just like, is this going to be a yellow or not? You're just like trying to figure it out as he's trying to get the player.
You would just watch him. But no, to answer your question, I think that's the lineup, dude. That is the lineup. I think that's the lineup we see on Sunday. It just makes sense. I don't know. It's nice to have, Izzy on the bench waiting to come in. Nice to see Nichelle Prince come in there, add a little speed at the end. She's good, dude. Nichelle has good vision. Bailey Feist coming in, getting feisty in the midfield. And Desi getting in. I don't know. I'm not sure. A lot of these subs, I mean, Balasagar at the end came in.
We're getting a little ahead of ourselves. However, when some of these subs came in, when Feist and Scott came in, you're like, ooh, like 83rd minute. You're like, ooh, I don't like this.
Yeah, so weird.
I was with you. Because if they pull one back, we have...
Now you're taking Davinia and Cooper off.
Yeah. At that point, we're just hoping for a Chawinga miracle, which clearly can happen. But that's not what you want to have. But that shows a lot of confidence in Vlatko and this team, by the way.
It does. And, of course, you got Kayla Sharples back there. Who does Kayla Sharples things? I'm such a fan of her defending, dude. She puts it all on the line. Every time she makes a stop, I'm like, there she is. Like, that's just what she does. I'm very happy she's with us.
By the way, going back to Ellie Wheeler, there's that play, and we're all over the map right now. We're all over the place.
That's what we do. That's what you come here for.
Yeah, exactly. But that sliding play against she shut Caroline down damn near, by the way.
Yeah.
And I believe this is, she hasn't had a lot of club play here recently, Caroline coming off of injury, but she was with the Olympic team in with Brazil. But man, her pace, her physicality absolutely just, I don't want to say took Caroline out because you can't really do it, but certainly mitigated her ability to be a threat. So that's another, when we talked to Ellie, we were like, you're guarding Alex Morgan, you're guarding, Sophia Smith, all these players, like another notch on the belt. Like that's another player that she was able to compete against and essentially prevent them from scoring, which is their job.
100%. I mean, you can't get starstruck here. That's just another person trying to knock you out of these playoffs. You know what I mean? That's just a soccer player. That's a woman. And you're a woman, so beat them.
That sliding tackle in the box. I don't know if you saw the replay on that, but like she slid and prevented the Caroline shot from coming in, and then it also kind of deflected back off of Caroline, and it was a goal kick. I mean, that was incredible. I saw the replay, and it was stunning.
I thought this game would be a little more high scoring because we scored in 8 minutes. I mean, I was like, here we go. Right away. Let's open it up, dude. Let's make them come at us. And so to keep it 1-0, I'm very surprised at that. But also the elements were weird. That ball was flying on the field. It was wet. You had people out there with leaf blowers just blowing grass like crazy. You could see the water just flying off the grass. It was a tale of 2 days too, man. It was like so murky and gloomy. And then the sun popped its head out and it was like, oh, what up? This is nice.
It was weird. It was rainy and drizzly, which I enjoyed. And then the sun came out and I'm thinking like, I didn't put sunblock on. I was kind of rough. Yeah.
I loved it, man. But in the 8th minute, dude, Chawinga gets the ball and she's on a runaway. She shoots. The goalkeeper blocks it. And it's like, okay, we still got the ball. Michelle Cooper centers it up to Xenia.
A great play, by the way. I think what gets lost in all this is Cooper's ability to find Abinia, because she could have been selfish and tried to make something crazy happen. She laid it off she made the right play, right? She made the right play, and she deserves credit for that because a lot of people might not.
Dabinia hits it one time, going for the corner, hits the post, comes back out. Chawinga gets it, doesn't even take a touch, hits it first time, bounces off the defender. Comes right back to her, hits it one time, goes in the net. I was like, like it was the most roller coaster I've ever been in a play. Like it was crazy, dude. Four opportunities and it finally went in. What a time.
Well, as we're walking to our seat, I know I mentioned this earlier, but as we're walking to our seats, like the crowd was really loud on just about every play. As we're walking up, so I'm like, please, I don't want to miss anything unless we score. And then as soon as we got up, I look over and I just see the ball come through and Chawinga run and the whole thing, happen. And what a great job by the team to follow the play, right? Like they didn't stand and watch. All the players came in and filled some type of position that would give them the best chance to score. And man, Chawinga, I don't know how I don't know what the voting is going to look like for MVP, but if you don't vote for her, it's hard to take you seriously.
I wish Dabinia's goal would have went in, though, because then I think Chawinga might have stayed more hungry to get a goal as well later to maybe make this an easier game for us. But Dabinia to put it on like that, dude, that was so good. That defender, though, at the end that blocks Chawinga point blank and then falls down and tries to like kick her leg out to block the second attempt. Like she was a woman on an island there, dude, trying to do whatever she could to keep that out of there. It was beautiful.
Yeah, and then we knew Carolina would dominate possession. That's what they do. And then we talked about it last game too. And I know it's cliche, but score first, right? That's what you want to do. But especially against a team like Carolina, who possesses so much. They had 64% of the possession compared to our 36.
Sure do.
They had 4 shots on target compared to our 5. But if you want to take North Carolina out of the game, score early, make them have to change what they're doing and take advantage of that. If they can control the game with their possession and if they get a lead, they will possess you to death. And
good point.
That's exactly what the Current didn't want to have happen. And once they scored, I felt a lot better about kind of how this game would go.
And we had more opportunities. I mean, Chawinga had a shot on goal as well. Goalkeeper had to tip it over the net. It was just a tough game in general. Like playing in these conditions are never ideal.
Right.
It wasn't all that cold. I mean, it was hoodie weather. As a soccer player, as someone who's played like rec soccer, I love playing in this weather, dude. Like it's just perfect. Your body warms up. Things are good. Maybe you have sleeves on. Don't really need them.
You get some drizzle. You're cool, but you're warm at the same time.
Absolutely. There was a moment, dude, early in the first half, North Carolina had just a sitter. Like it got through and the gal had
it
open
through everybody.
And that's the thing. It was wet. Of course it skipped. You can't judge that shit. And it went wide of the goal. I mean, I think she scores this 10 out of 10, and it's a whole new ball game. We really got a lifeline there.
Yeah, watching it happen in person, you just see it skip. I think it went to skip past Sharples. I can't remember exactly, but it just skipped through and hit their player right kind of in the middle of the box-ish.
Yeah.
And I thought for sure, like, she was going to put that on frame and tie it up. But when I saw that thing get blasted, I mean, my heart skipped.
There was another moment in the 32nd minute where I think your heart probably skipped many beats when they crossed one in and they put a header down and Schultz couldn't quite, like, it was right at her.
Right.
Kind of bobbled it and it goes to the ground. So she gets a hand on it and North Carolina kicks it into the net. It was so close, dude. It was like boom, kick. Like, she had possession, and they did a VAR moment and checked it out.
Yeah,
everything was good, but it was close.
It was close. Another half a second, and that thing would have been a goal. And our ability to defend crosses and corners and aerial attacks has been something that's been significantly better. I think Sharples, I believe that was her on that player who headed the ball. That thing I feel like just kind of sailed a little further than Sharples, right? And she got a clean header on that thing. That thing was a clean header. I don't know how Schultz got a hand on it. That was quick. She got a hand on it, and man, first of all, we should not be giving up those kind of headers, right? That needs to be defended better. But the fact that she was able to stop that and get a hand on it, that was another moment when, like you said, my heart skipped many beats, and we're really fortunate.
I guarantee our defenders are like, okay, that's not happening again. Like, that was too easy for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kayla, Alana, I'm sure they were just like, that's ridiculous. But good awareness by Schultz to get a hand on it like that before they blasted it in to the goal. Sun peaks out around 50 minutes in here, man. Right at the end of the first half. The field is just drenched in sun. It's like, am I still watching the same game? If you were watching on TV, you're like, is this the same game? So halftime comes, 1-0. I'm like, this ain't enough, dude. This ain't enough. Like, they're coming. I'm so nervous for this. How do we hang on? What kind of changes do we need to make? Do we need another goal? I kept thinking 1 or 2 more goals would be brilliant, please. But also, we always play North Carolina so tight like this.
Yep. I agree. 1 is not that much. Like, a 1-0 lead is not much, especially against a team who can control the game and make you play how they play, which is what North Carolina does.
Mm-hmm.
But, I was really hoping for one more goal because I'd really kind of put it over the top, I think. Never came, but the current managed really well.
They sure did. And there was a lot of time, if you're watching the highlights on this, dude, there was times where it was just all North Carolina, like playing possession and coming at us. And you're like, oh, in these highlights, surely there were some KC Current plays. In the second half, not a ton.
Yeah.
Not a ton happened. It was just us trying to see this out, man. Wingate came in for Sanchez early on. Schultz had to, stop a long distance thing from, oh my gosh, what's her name?
Was it Miura?
Is that her name, Miura?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And
that was a good shot, by the way. That thing was...
It was coming, dude.
Yeah.
But North Carolina's defense, like, they didn't let us get out of our own half for a little bit. It was just us trying to just stay alive. And it truly felt like that as a fan, too. I'm like, man, if Orlando's... Huh?
Oh, I was going to say, you mentioned the finalist for defender, Kurtz. She's back there.
Yeah.
Right? Like, they have a staunch defensive line.
100%. If I'm Orlando and I'm watching tape of this game, I'm going to watch what North Carolina's doing and do it better. And really take it to KC like that, especially if they get down a goal. Because we just tried to bunker in and couldn't really get Chewinga on the break. Dabinia was off, dude. She was off to the races a few times, and we just couldn't find her. She's really doing the Chewinga thing, too. She's like, I run fast, too. Like, hit me long. Like, I'll get there. Don't worry. But we just couldn't break her, So
agreed.
This, Schultz has to make another diving save there in the 80th. It just felt, I don't know. I was nervous. I was on pins and needles the whole time. So the game ends 1-0. It's like, for one, 7 minutes of stoppage time at the end, which I totally guessed. I was like, what do you think? There's probably 7. And sure enough, I know what the hell I'm talking about. But it wasn't just 7, bro. It was like 12. Like, they went like 5 more because there were like some injury stoppages. Ellie Wheeler was pushing people. I don't know why that didn't show up in the highlights because that's a highlight of my life. Who's your toast of the match go to here?
I don't. As somebody who really enjoys defending, I really want to give it to Ellie Wheeler because she shut down Caroline and she defended her player. Also, Chewinga scoring the game winner, which is not uncommon, right? She has plenty of toast of the matches. So I kind of want to go a little bit out of pocket here and say Ellie Wheeler.
Okay, that's not out of pocket, dude. She was like, Ellie Wheeler, Holiday Distillery, toast of the match.
Teammate of the match, defending your players, not messing around.
She wasn't just doing defending, too, though. Like, she was giving service to Chewinga a few times. So she's very valuable. And that's a rookie, ladies and gentlemen. That's a rookie. I don't know. I'm excited to see her development in the years to come. We did lock her up to a longer contract, so there's that.
Yep.
Her father and I are best friends now, so there's that as well. So it's go time now, man. It's go time. You can get free tickets to a watch party at CPKC Stadium. I'm gonna be honest, that's not my thing. I don't really enjoy watching games in that kind of environment out in the elements on a screen that I don't think is all that good at times. Sorry, controversial. I just don't think the big screen's all that great.
Well, I think for us, the big thing too is the commute, right? I wouldn't want to.
Of course,
you're an hour away, so that's a tough thing to kind of pull off. But
I got a bathroom a few feet away. I got snacks up in the fridge. It's a hell of a...
You got a hell of an old man at all. Like, I got a bathroom here, snacks.
Bro, I'm on the calendar for hip replacements, so let's curb the old man talk here, okay? I'll let you know when I'm bionic, man, coming back being strong.
Deal.
So I take it you're not going to the watch party either?
Probably not. If it wasn't as much of a commute, then I probably would. But hopefully people go out there though. It'd be a cool time. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if they would travel their injured players to a semifinal match. But so maybe they would have like some of their injured players there for like autograph opportunities and all that. That sounds pretty neat.
Yeah.
But dude, we got, if you want to be in the dance, if you want to be in the conversation, you need to beat Orlando. And it's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy at all. I'm a little worried.
I'm very worried. They played exceptionally well this game. They had you take a look at Chicago. They destroyed Chicago, which we talked about, but 9 shots on target. I'm going off of memory. I think their expected goal was almost a 5 for their XG. That is just astronomical. I thought they were kind of going to a lull at the end of the season, but they kind of turned that around. It feels like they're kind of firing on all cylinders here now. So are we. It's really going to be just 2 heavyweights, man, going at it. I don't know how you approach this game. I don't know if Lotko's going to have an all-out blistering attack and just hope their D-mid and their defense can slow down Banda and Marta, or if they're just going to play very tactical and try and take advantage of what Orlando gives them. I don't know how they're going to approach that.
With Chewinga and Barbara Banda in there, up for NWSL MVP, both of them, it's both of them are going to have to defend as well.
Yeah.
Because with that kind of attack, dude, how do you gauge that? I need to stay back a little bit right now and help. Because if they help, that will make the defense's job easier. You just can't put everything on Ellie, Mace, Cook, Sharples. You can't just have them defend. It starts at the top. You always hear coaches saying that too. It starts at the top. But this game, more than ever, they score a lot of goals, man. They got a lot of points this year. This is scary, but if you want to be in the conversation, then you have to beat the team who's been the best, and we haven't been able to beat them yet.
Yeah, and I don't think I agree, and I don't think we're gonna have Bia. Obviously, I don't know what her timeline is. Maybe if we get her for the championship, but that doesn't matter right now, right? We got to beat Orlando. I mean, you said it best, man. It's a heavyweight matchup. If you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. Right now, Orlando's king of the mountain.
If you're wondering how you're going to get up for a match like this, we got to get everyone excited, dude. They're going to be up.
Both teams are excited. You don't have to worry about that. Both teams are going to come out probably butterflies in their stomach, wanting to vomit, wanting to throw up, wanting to play hard, but also stay composed within whatever tactics they're trying to do.
I do wish that game was here. Give them a taste of that Midwest fall. You know what I mean? Let's get a little rain. Let's get a little rain on this game. Let's get a little chilly.
Little drizzle. See how those old bones of Marta can operate.
Old bone Marta.
And to be fair, I love Marta, and I'm old bone too. So
due respect.
No shade. I love Marta, but I just hope they watch replays of how they celebrated, and they're fuming the moment they're walking out there.
Remember that shit. Remember how childish Marta was on our home field. Go shut them up. Like this, you weren't able to do it last time we played them. We weren't. We drew them. Now's the time, dude. Get over the hump. Get to the championship against two teams that you have beat before. This is our Super Bowl. This is a team we have not beaten this year. It's time to go.
And on top of that, just a little fun side moment there. You may have a Gautreau versus DiBernardo, who are really good friends. They may have to, link up against each other at some point. Gautreau came in as a sub in the 75th minute in the last game, but Marta Banda is a problem. I'm just taking a look at their team here. Morehouse, finalist for keeper of the year. Emily Sams, she's a beast. She's up there with Gurma. That's going to be tough. Strom is very foundationally sound. Ali Watts, I mean, they're a solid team, man. It's going to be tough. They're good both offensively and defensively. Sepp Hines is a very good coach. Very good coach. It's, man, all eyes of the league are going to be on that game.
You're right. They had 9 shots on goal against Chicago. Scored 4 of those, so nothing like scoring almost half of your opportunities there. Let's don't give them 9 on us. I trust Schultz, in Schultz we trust, but let's not do that. Let's keep that to a minimum of maybe 3 or 4 shots on goal. I'd be happy with about half that number.
I do want to take a quick glance here at Orlando's home and away. I want to see what they're like at home versus what they're like away here.
Okay.
So, obviously, Orlando's top of the league overall. At home, they have the most points at 33. So, at home, they are 10-3, 10 wins, 3 draws. Away, 8-3-2, also number 1 in the league. Away, we're number 3, by the way, so we're no slouch, traveling. And we're 3 at home as well. So they're good at home, man. They're good at home. Their fans are going to bring it. They've really turned this franchise around, right? They're feeling themselves. The crowd's going to be hyped up. It's probably going to be the best crowd they've ever had. No better way to go in there and be a heel and shut their crowd up. I hope Cooper gets one. Take the crowd out early. Make them chase the game. That's what I would like.
Couple. Wouldn't that be something? Man, I'm up for this game. I'm so in. You're going to lead me right into a Chiefs game? Like, it's a great Sunday. It's going to be great.
Agreed.
Cool. Well, let's get out of here. This was great. Good playoff recap, playoff preview. I hope we are doing a championship preview next week, man. It's
I don't want it to end, man. I don't want it to end. I want the journey to keep going.
Ooh, it's been a year. Let's. They're gonna put it all out there, dude. Put your body on the line. It's time, just to be a beast. If you've been holding anything back, it's now time to go. So,
Yeah,
folks, thank you for being here. Always a pleasure. You can leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Pods and Spotify. Email us, knowthepod@gmail.com. If you want us to address anything, give us your opinions, tell us how handsome we are. We're on socials at No Other Pod, at Dan Kooser, at Chris Wright 21. And yeah, not much else to say other than KC baby. So for Chris, I'm Daniel. We love you guys. See ya.